Our next fire session is called Fan the Flames of Your Career. Maggie Rothney brings more than 15 years of experience across print production, client service, operations, and compliance. She is passionate about helping people recognize their value, advocate for their work, and grow with confidence. Welcome, Maggie, to the conference.
Good morning. Thank you for that introduction. Deborah might not know it, but I silently barnacled myself to her and Kelly about 20 years ago at McCormick Place in Chicago when I attended some of the earliest Girls Who Print events
That's
at the
right.
Print
You're
Expo.
my full circle. You were a
Yeah.
student and you
Now
came
we're
to the
here, right?
Printerverse. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Okay, I'm going to jump off camera, but I'm here with you.
That just makes me kind of reflect on how you never really know who's watching and learning from you, and kind of who's holding you even just in the back of their mind as a model as they grow through their career. So this is exactly why networking and these kinds of things are so important. Also, I wanted to say that Wendy, the last speaker, and I have never met, but she just basically teed me up perfectly to compound on her inspiring energy. So I'm going to start this little talk with a simple interaction in the chat. And it's similar to something you recently heard. Type a Y for yes, and N for no. Have you ever stayed quiet in a meeting even though you had an idea or other valid input? Why? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, next one. Have you ever decided that you weren't qualified enough before volunteering or applying for something that you probably would have done great at? Yes, 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 yes. Not a single no. So, obviously, from the whys, we share these experiences. So, as Deborah said, I've worked in various print roles from designing ads for my college's newspaper in the mid 2000s to being pre-press for national cereal and pharmaceutical packaging to production planning, supplier management, and now I'm in a quality manager role. But I still have that little voice sometimes that says, just wait till you understand this a little bit more before speaking up, or just send them an email later. Don't waste everyone's time, right? And while that might be a good decision sometimes to take it offline, it can also point toward a habit of limiting ourselves. I've always been confident in my brain. So at work, that translates into quickly learning processes, easily over delivering on and adding value on the tasks I was responsible for. I became somebody who people relied on to solve problems. I improved processes. I became a SME, a subject matter expert in many things, designed working tools, improved communication, looked for ways to improve the job while working toward shared goals. And I kept waiting for that big recognition to be discovered, to be invited into the room. And it never really happened. So insecurities creep in. Was it me? Was it my bigger body? Was it because I was a woman, not a man? I was confused why the stepping stones weren't just effortlessly lining up for me. And I burned myself out, trying to be perfect for what I thought my bosses wanted me to be. I became resentful when I experienced feeling slighted. And what I learned the hard way from that toil and trial and error, and now in my mid-career at 40, is that being indispensable in your current role doesn't automatically make your boss or the people making the decisions imagine you in your next role, which is kind of gave me permission to shift my voice, how I use my voice. And I realized that no one was going to advocate for me as constantly or accurately as I could advocate for myself. So back to kind of what Wendy said is what should drive you. You don't have to work toward what you think you should do, but work toward what's inside you, what you know you want to be doing. So okay, advocate for yourself, right? How do you start that? Like why can't I just climb the ladder that was supposed to be there? How can I get what I want without being too assertive or too scary? And I'm a almost 6 foot tall woman, so I'm sometimes I'm scary, I think. But the biggest opportunities that are still helping me define my ideal career path didn't come because I was quiet. They came because I spoke up about what I could contribute beyond the current role that I was in. And one phrase that supports me in this fire is something I first heard from my mom, and it becomes more and more relevant and powerful the older I get. But it's never tell yourself no. So if I thought, could I do that? Would I be good at that? Did I deserve that? Would they trust me with that role? Don't tell yourself no. If it's something that speaks to you, if it's something you know you can do or you deserve to do, don't make yourself small. If you don't ask for what you want, you already have the no. If you don't ask, if you don't bring it up, you already have the no. So starting the discussion is just an opportunity for the yes or something adjacent to yes. So if you decide to commit to facing those sometimes scary steps of putting yourself out there, someone might eventually decide it's not the right opportunity for you, it's not the right time, you don't have the right experience, but don't make that decision for yourself before you even explore it. Okay, so again, we're going to interact a little bit in the chat, but so how do I advocate for myself? In the chat, write one word. So what is something that your coworkers come to you for? Could be like organization, training, motivation, love that. Quality, communication, direction, resources. I'm reading from the chat. Okay, so and now let's look at these words that people wrote or the words you shared or the words in your head that you know about yourself. So those are not just tasks. Those are your strengths. Your title tells people about your tasks, but your strengths tell people about where you're valuable or why you're valuable. If we only describe ourselves by our job titles, we've missed the opportunity to focus on the value and the impact we can create. And that's where your power is. But now you're like, okay, so if my boss already knows I'm reliable and dedicated and a team player, but doesn't want to promote me or let me do these things I'd like to do, what do I do about it? So we're going to take those words about ourselves a step further, and we're going to reframe those strengths and contributions and abilities into more powerful language. So Deborah was just reflecting on, minimizing language that's sometimes used for women, and here's how we're going to make it more powerful. So the people making decisions can't always see everything you contribute unless you're willing to share it. So you want to market it exactly how you want it to be known. So working hard is important. Being helpful is great. Being dedicated is nice. I always stay late whenever my boss asks me. Those are, things that people say at work, but reframe your strengths and achievements with more powerful language. So some examples are, instead of I'm organized, so I reduce errors and improve workflows. And so then people, once you start having that language, wow, Maggie equals improvement, right? Instead of I'm helpful, it's I'm the person people rely on to solve operational challenges. So, and then in someone's mind, oh, operational challenge, I'm going to go get Maggie, right? Instead of I'm a team player, I'm a collaborative leader who builds trust and elevates the performance of my team. So Maggie equals better performance, right? It's the language gets in your head. So give yourself permission. So permission slip from yesterday's talks to believe those things about yourself because they are true. They are true. And other people also start to believe them in that more powerful way if you allow it to just become second nature for how you speak about yourself. So we all know, especially women, if you're good at something, it results in more work, more responsibility, not necessarily advancement. So when you reframe your contributions powerfully like this, you want to make leadership see what they would lose if they didn't elevate you or support you in the way that you needed them to. So advocating for yourself isn't arrogance. It's clarity. It's refusing to sit and be resentful because no one's reading your mind. And then it becomes, like I said, second nature to show up with confidence to the things that serve you. So that's the short version, how to advocate for yourself, which brings me to the impact, right? This is all about the impact. Once you get used to speaking on your own behalf and you look back and you realize that because you were willing to advocate for yourself, the resulting discussions and opportunities become pathways for others. So one of the biggest personal realizations I've had in my career, my professional life, is that my greatest fulfillment doesn't come from improving a process or being recognized or a title or even making lots of money. Although I don't think I've properly tested that one yet. But fulfillment for me comes from building others. It comes from flipping my own collateral into making sure others can experience success, have a voice, grow their confidence. And so besides advocating for myself, like even by accident, those habits have allowed me to now confidently and deliberately carry others with me, either in person, so come on, or by name, keeping people in your mouth, people's names when it comes to sharing ideas, when it comes to being somewhere where you can give credit and offer others up for opportunities. So every time you ask for a seat at a new table, you make it more normal for someone else to ask for that seat too. So one last little reflection question, and you can put this in the chat because again, you never know who's watching and can be kind of influenced by you, but this is more of like a write it out on your paper, think about it in your own head for yourself. But what is one thing that you'll advocate for tomorrow or the next day or even by the end of the year? So some examples could be in the next week, month, year, I will advocate for myself by having a conversation with my manager about my career goals, asking to lead a project I've been interested in, asking for specific training or professional development that will help me prepare for my next opportunity. Or simply speaking about the value I bring with powerful language instead of assuming others already know it and see it that way.
Yeah. While people are pondering that, what is the answer for yourself?
Let's see. I'm going to focus on my own learning. I'm a lifelong learner, and I'm going to research some specific classes that I would like to take to improve my job and myself, and I'm going to ask for them because if you don't present it, you don't say this is important because you already have the no, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You
You
have
have a
no in
no
writing.
until you have a yes, right? Excellent. Or
One more thought. So,
yes.
whatever you wrote, that's your next step. So that's your takeaway from my little time with you. And then go into that action, remembering that the impact of advocating for yourself will build you on your own terms. But eventually also reaches far beyond your own success to blaze the trail for other people that they can walk it
Yay.
more easily. So thank you.